Contemplation is the highest expression of man's intellectual and spiritual life. It is that life itself, fully awake, fully active, fully aware that it is alive. It is spiritual wonder. It is spontaneous awe at the sacredness of life, of being. It is gratitude for life, for awareness, and for being. It is a vivid realization of the fact that life and being in us proceed from an invisible, transcendent, and infinitely abundant source. Contemplation is, above all, awareness of the reality of that source. It knows the source, obscurely, inexplicably, but with a certitude that goes beyond both reason and beyond simple faith. For contemplation is a kind of spiritual vision to which both reason and faith aspire by their very nature, because without it they must always remain incomplete. Yet contemplation is not vision because it sees without seeing and knows without knowing. It is a more profound depth of faith, a knowledge too deep to be grasped in images, in words, or even in clear concepts. It can be suggested by words, by symbols, but in the very moment of trying to indicate what it knows, the contemplative mind takes back what it has said and denies what it has affirmed. For in contemplation we know by unknowing, or better, we know beyond all knowing or unknowing. Poetry, music, and art have something in common with the contemplative experience. But contemplation is beyond aesthetic intuition, beyond art, beyond poetry. Indeed, it is also beyond philosophy, beyond speculative theology. It resumes, transcends, and fulfills them all, and yet at the same time it seems, in a certain way, to supersede and to deny them all. Contemplation is always beyond our own knowledge, beyond our own light, beyond systems, beyond explanations, beyond discourse, beyond dialogue, beyond our own self. To enter into the realm of contemplation, one must in a certain sense die. But this death is in fact the entrance into a higher life. It is a death for the sake of life, which leaves beyond all that we can know or treasure as life, as thought, as experience, as joy, as being. And so contemplation seems to supersede and to discard every other form of intuition and experience, whether in art, in philosophy, in theology, in liturgy, or in ordinary levels of love and of belief. This rejection, of course, is only apparent. Contemplation is and must be compatible with all these things, for it is their highest fulfillment. But in the actual experience of contemplation, all other experiences are momentarily lost. They die to be born again on a higher level of life. In other words, then, contemplation reaches out to the knowledge and even to the experience of the transcendent and inexpressible God. It knows God by seeming to touch him, or rather it knows him as if it had been invisibly touched by him who has no hands, but who is pure reality and the source of all that is real. Hence contemplation is a gift of sudden awareness, an awakening to the real within all that is real, a vivid awareness of infinite being at the roots of our own limited being, an awareness of our contingent reality as received, as a present from God, as a free gift of love. This is the existential contact of which we speak when we use the metaphor of being touched by God. Contemplation is also the response to a call from him who has no voice, and yet who speaks in everything that is, and who, most of all, speaks in the depth of our own being. For we ourselves are words of his. But we are words that are meant to respond to him, to answer to him, to echo him, and even in some way to contain him and signify him. Contemplation is this echo. It is a deep resonance in the inmost center of our spirit, in which our very life loses its separate voice and resounds with the majesty and mercy of the hidden and loving one. He answers himself in us, and the answer is divine life, divine creativity, making all things new. We ourselves become his echo and his answer. It is as if in creating us, God asked a question, and in awakening us to contemplation, he answered the question, so that the contemplative is at the same time question and answer. The life of contemplation implies two levels of awareness. First, awareness of the question, and second, awareness of the answer. Though these are two distinct and enormously different levels, yet they are in fact an awareness of the same thing. The question is itself the answer, and we ourselves are both. But we cannot know this until we have moved into the second kind of awareness. We awaken, not to find an answer absolutely distinct from the question, but to realize that the question is its own answer, and all is summed up in one awareness, not a proposition, but an experience. I am.